Player housing is definitely one of those systems that you'll either be super excited about or it will just exist in the game, and sure, you'll have a house, but it will look like a blind interior decorator's been in because there'll just be crap everywhere because you put it down just to see what it looks like. Well, I'm firmly in the first camp and I've been waiting for player housing since 2004. In fact, I was extremely confused coming from Star Wars Galaxies to World of Warcraft to find out there was a massive world and wasn't any player housing at all. So the fact that we've finally got it, yes, I am extremely excited. And I have to admit, in my opinion, it was worth the wait. I love the neighborhood system, the endeavors, the user interface, the customization of it all, but you know what's even better than all of that? You don't need to like player housing to actually benefit from player housing. We'll get to that shortly. Blizzard have gone back through all the old expansions all the way back to Classic up to Midnight and added Decor to every single profession. Most get 2 items per expansion and some get 3, and Inscription get an absolute truckload. So yes, I think Inscription will be making a pretty penny early on when 11.2.7 launches on the 2nd of December. The thing is, they've gone really wild with the type of materials that are actually needed to make some of this furniture, from things that used to be daily cooldowns to materials from raids, and even having to craft decor to then use that decor as part of a new craft to make a bigger decor. I feel like I said the word decor quite a lot there. Now you're probably thinking, well Scott, I'm one of those people that don't really care about player housing, yet you said I could benefit from the system. Tell me how. Alright, I will. I've spent absolutely hours on this spreadsheet that looks like a 5-year-old put it together because, like I said before, I am excited for player housing and not for the gold-making potential, but to actually collect everything that I can. So over the last couple of weeks, spending time using the new Homebound add-on, which I'll link in the description below, but that's been a great start. It shows all the decor, whatever you want to call it, that you can get from achievements, but as I said, there's loads coming to crafting professions, and I personally couldn't find a list of everything in one place, so I just made one for me, but you can use it. If there is actually one out there somewhere that you know of, well, now you've got 2. You only have to take a glance at it to really see how some of the materials are going to absolutely spike in price next month. So going out and doing some farming, emptying out your abandoned banks on alts from previous expansions, which is something I would definitely recommend, because I went through some alts that I used to have on an old server, and I probably stopped playing it in Warlords of Draenor, and all their banks were completely full of stuff that is actually used in a lot of these professions. So make sure you go through old alts that you've got laying around that you haven't looked at for ages, and I'll bet you'll find a lot of this stuff anyway. But having loads of it stockpiled ready on your crafters to knock out as much of this furniture as you can, and then selling it early. The earlier you sell, the more profit that you're going to make. And like I said, I'm not using the sheet for that purpose. I'm actually just ticking off everything as I get it. So on day 1, I can sit and craft absolutely everything to get all the housing XP, because like you'll see on the sheet, when you actually click on the item, like the actual name of the item, you'll see that they all give like 10 housing XP each. So while that's not a lot, in all fairness, once you actually get all of this, it is going to be a decent amount. And I'm sure there's many of you that want as close to 100% decor as possible in your collection tab. You'll notice on the sheet next to the expansion on the first page at least, I've put the skill required. Any of this is subject to change of course, but it at least gives you an idea or something to aim for, and I can't see the requirement going up. I could only see actually the requirement for some of the professions coming down. So if it says 80 in brackets, you know, well, as long as you get 80, you're going to be safe. You're definitely going to be able to go to the trainer and obviously train the 2 new pieces, or 5 or 6 or 7 if you're Inscription. I'll be adding other sources of furniture to the sheet as well over the next week or so from previous expansions, so features like Warlords of Draenor's garrisons, but for now that's really only benefiting the people who want the decor, and I wanted this to be useful to everyone, whether you're excited about housing or you're not excited about housing, but you do see a really big prospect here of being able to make tons of gold. Because trust me, some of these materials, they will 100% spike. If you've got crafters and you want to go out and farm these mats so you can make some of these cool things like the hot tub, for example, I'm just using that as an example, I'm not saying that's going to be the best seller, but if you get a hot tub ready, you're going to have to go out and get the lumber, because remember, when you look at all of these, there'll be an expansion relevant lumber, which I should probably at least just give you an idea of what that actually is. But basically, when you do the housing tutorial, you're going to end up in the town square and you'll see a lumberjack. You can speak to the lumberjack and buy something that sits in your bag, which allows you to see what trees you can chop down. Now, you don't physically chop the trees down. Instead, there's like an axe that's hanging out the side of it that you'll click on, but you will be able to see which ones you can click on your minimap, just like you would if you was herbing or mining. It does feel a little bit slow to be able to get the lumber, so I'm hoping to see the numbers go up, because most of the time you're just getting 1 from each tree, sometimes 2. But yes, it is very slow. But if you've got a lot of materials lined up from this sheet and you know all you need is the lumber, you're just going to fly around for a few hours in each expansion zone, get in all the lumber, and then crafting the decor to either use for yourself or sell on the auction house. Lovely stuff. What I will say is I haven't proofread this document quite yet, so for 100% accuracy, always click on the item. So the item in like the header, if you want to call it the header, click on that and then it will open a screenshot where you can see exactly what the materials are. I very quickly typed them all out and I only finished it, I don't know, about 15 minutes ago, and I'm running on absolute fumes. So I haven't got round to proofreading it yet, but I will, and if there's any typos or any numbers that are slightly wrong from the images, I'll update it. So I would always just have a quick check of the image, especially over the next few days. Now, I've got tons of Midnight videos coming out, from classes to delves to M+ testing that starts today. I've leveled multiple characters to 90 now, done tons with professions, done all the delves on tier 11, done loads of prey. Like, literally, I've been living on the Midnight beta, and I've got lots to share with you, but I've been enjoying playing so much that I've not really been putting out videos. Well, that changes today. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, as always, be sure to like and subscribe. Plenty more to come, and I'll see you on the next one.